Imagine waking up one morning to hear this on your radio. Your president has disappeared. The army has taken over. A new leader is now in charge. Obey him or disappear. That was Uganda in January 1971. That was the day Idi Amin stepped out of the shadows and declared himself ruler. What followed was not politics. It was not leadership. It was not patriotism. It was fear, raw, sharp, and everywhere. People vanished for speaking, vanished for thinking, vanished for breathing the wrong way. And at the center of it all stood one man, smiling, joking, laughing, while the country bled. This is the real story of Idi Amin, how a poor boy from northern Uganda rose to absolute power, ruled with violence, shocked the world, fell from the throne, and died far away from home. No sugarcoating. No exaggeration. Just the truth. Before I continue, please hit that subscribe button, like and share this video with your loved ones. Thank you. His beginning, a tough childhood. Idi Amin was born around 1923 in Kiboko, a town in northern Uganda. There is no official birth record, so the year is an estimate. His parents were from the Kakwa ethnic group, one of the smaller groups in the country. His father left early, and Idi Amin grew up mostly with his mother, a healer and herbalist. They were poor. School was not something he spent much time in. Most reports say he only reached 4th grade before dropping out. By his early teens, he was already big, strong, and intimidating. And he quickly discovered he much preferred fighting to studying. Entering the military, his path to power begins. In 1946, when he was in his early 20s, Idi Amin joined the King's African Rifles, KAR, a British colonial army unit. This was the job that shaped his future. During his time in the army, he served in Kenya during the Mau Mau Rebellion. He fought as a soldier in Somalia. He became known for his toughness, his strength, and his ability to obey orders without questions. But he also became known for something else: extreme brutality. There were allegations of torture, beatings, and killings of prisoners during his military operations. Even during colonial times, when the British were not exactly gentle themselves, Amin stood out. Still, his size, loyalty, and aggressiveness made him useful. By Uganda's independence in 1962, he was already one of the top local officers in the army. His alliance with President Milton Obote. After independence, Uganda's first elected leader, Milton Obote, saw Amin as a powerful tool. Amin was promoted again and again until he became the army commander, one of the most powerful people in the country. At first, it seemed like a strong partnership. But trouble was already brewing. Obote trusted him, but feared him. Amin supported Obote, but wanted more power. The two men secretly spied on each other. The relationship collapsed in 1970, when Obote discovered that Amin had been stealing money from army funds and secretly training loyal soldiers. Obote planned to arrest him. Amin found out. And that was the moment everything changed. The coup, how Idi Amin took over. On January 25, 1971, Obote was traveling outside the country for a meeting. Amin struck immediately. Soldiers loyal to him took over government buildings, the airport, and the radio station. The coup was bloodless at first, no heavy fighting. Then came the broadcast. The army has taken over. Obote is no longer your leader. I, Idi Amin, will run the country. People celebrated at first. They thought he would restore democracy and end corruption. They had no idea what was coming. His early rule, smiling outside, violence inside. In the first few days, Amin acted friendly. He freed political prisoners. He promised to bring peace. He said he would only rule for a short time. But behind the scenes, he was already targeting anyone he viewed as a threat. Judges disappeared. Army officers were killed. Politicians were hunted down. Bodies started showing up in forests, by rivers, and on roadsides. Other bodies were never found at all. Within months, fear spread through the entire country. The real terror begins, the killing years. Between 1971 and 1979, Uganda experienced some of the darkest years in its history. Historians estimate that 300,000 or more Ugandans were killed under Amin's rule. These killings were not accidents. They were part of a system. Those most targeted included soldiers from tribes loyal to Obote, students, journalists, intellectuals, judges, religious leaders, anyone suspected of opposing him. Torture became common. The state intelligence agency, the public safety unit, became a symbol of death. People lived in silence. Even when someone disappeared, families were too scared to ask questions. His personality, charming, funny, and terrifying. One of the strangest parts of Idi Amin's story is his personality. Publicly, he acted friendly, playful, and humorous. He danced, joked, and played loud music. He appeared in public without fear, smiling widely. But that smile hid something dark. Amin could switch from laughter to violence in seconds. He enjoyed humiliating people. He enjoyed power. He enjoyed being feared. He often acted on instinct rather than thought. He made decisions overnight, sometimes after drinking heavily, and those decisions changed the fate of thousands. The expulsion of Asians, the economy collapses. In 1972, Amin did something that shocked the world. He announced that all Asians with British passports, mostly Indians and Pakistanis who had lived in Uganda for generations, had 90 days to leave the country. He said this order came to him in a dream. These Asians owned most of Uganda's businesses. E-shops, e-factories, transport companies, e-farms. Amin kicked out more than 50,000 people. He handed their properties to his friends and supporters, many of whom had no experience running businesses. Within a year, the economy collapsed. Factories stopped working. Shops ran empty. Inflation skyrocketed. Uganda fell into poverty and chaos. The country never fully recovered from this economic damage until decades later. His international behavior, a global shock. Idi Amin loved global attention. But he also embarrassed Uganda on the world stage again and again. Some examples. He gave himself titles like Conqueror of the British Empire. He sent insulting letters to world leaders, including the Queen of England. He offered to rule Scotland after it complained about British politics. He praised Adolf Hitler publicly. He supported Palestinian militant groups, which angered Israel and Western countries. He turned Uganda into a global outcast. The Entebbe raid, the moment the world fought back. In 1976, a group of Palestinian and German militants hijacked an Air France plane and forced it to land in Entebbe, Uganda. Idi Amin supported the hijackers. He visited the hostages, smiled for cameras, and pretended he was helping. But he was helping the hijackers. Israel responded with a military operation that shocked the world. Operation Entebbe, also called Operation Thunderbolt. Israeli commandos flew into Uganda at night, rescued almost all the hostages, destroyed Ugandan military jets on the ground, and escaped. Amin was humiliated. He executed many Ugandan soldiers out of anger, accusing them of helping Israel, even though they had nothing to do with it. His personal life, chaos and tragedy. Amin's family life was as chaotic as his politics. He had at least 5 wives and dozens of children. He abused his wives, beat them, and controlled them with fear. One of his ex-wives, K. Amin, died under mysterious circumstances. Rumors spread that Amin had ordered her killing after a fight. The government claimed she died during a botched surgery, but almost no one believed it. Amin's palace was full of luxuries while most Ugandans struggled to find food. He lived like a king, but ruled like something far worse. The beginning of his fall, war with Tanzania. His collapse began with a mistake, a costly one. In 1978, Idi Amin ordered his army to invade Tanzania, claiming part of its territory. He expected a quick victory. But he had no idea what was coming. Tanzania's president, Julius Nyerere, responded with full force. Tanzania formed an alliance with Ugandan rebels and launched a powerful counterattack. Amin's army was weak, undisciplined, and already feared him more than the enemy. They collapsed quickly. The final moments of his rule. By early 1979, Tanzania's army and Ugandan rebels were marching straight toward Kampala, Uganda's capital. Amin gave wild speeches promising victory, but even his closest allies could see the end coming. On April 11, 1979, Tanzanian forces captured Kampala. Amin fled the country that same night. The man who once called himself the conqueror of the British Empire was now running for his life. Just like that, his regime ended. Exile, the dictator who never faced justice. Idi Amin first fled to Libya, then finally settled in Saudi Arabia, where he lived in comfortable exile. Saudi Arabia agreed to host him on one condition. He must stay out of politics. He accepted. He lived a quiet life in Jeddah, going to the mosque, eating well, and raising his children. He never apologized for what he did. He never admitted wrongdoing. He never showed regret. When journalists interviewed him, he simply laughed and said he had done nothing wrong. His death, a quiet end. Idi Amin died on August 16, 2003, in a hospital in Saudi Arabia. He was 78 years old. He died of kidney failure. There was no trial. No punishment. No public reckoning. He died peacefully, something many Ugandans never got the chance to do under his rule. Uganda refused to bring his body back for burial. He was buried in Saudi Arabia, far from the land he once terrorized. His legacy, what he left behind. To this day, Idi Amin remains one of the most infamous dictators in African history. His rule left Uganda with economic destruction, Trauma. Lost generations. A broken military. A damaged international reputation. Memories of fear that still haunt families. But it also strengthened the desire of Ugandans to protect democracy and never allow such power to rise again. His story is not just the story of a dictator. It is the story of what happens when fear becomes a government and one man becomes bigger than the nation.